And welcome back to Good Morning Kenya. My name is Mike Miwe. Today is Thursday, being a day that we say it's the new Friday right here on Good Morning Kenya, being that we bring you entertainment Thursday every Thursday morning. But before we get to the entertainment aspect of this show, remember that every Thursday we usually have this segment we call Future Voices, where we give a Kenyan youth a chance to contribute or give their views on matters that affect national discourse. And today we are focusing on devolution and accountability. Now that, given that devolution in Kenya now controls over 400 billion annually, yet we have seen or have heard about issues to do with pending bills amounting to around 183 billion. And for this, that brings aspect of very hard questions on fiscal discipline. For instance, Nairobi County alone accounts for over 86 billion in unpaid bills, almost half of the national county backlog. And that is something that should worry Kenyans in as far as the fiscal discipline that we are talking about is concerned. And also we've had audit reports indicating that billions of money have been, there have been questionable expenditure in as far as those billions are concerned, and that happens within counties. So the aspect of accountability comes into question, and that is what we want to explore with my panel tonight. On my far left, I am joined by Emmanuel Magoba, who is a political scientist. Karibu sana.
Thank you, thank you.
And also Alor Denish, who is a youth leader and bioscientist. Welcome.
Thank you.
Wakili Jacob Odhiambo is also a wakili and a political strategist. Karibu sana.
Thank you, man.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, sure. And I say good morning to our viewers, yes, and I welcome them to the discussion.
Yeah. So let's get into the conversation. And Magoba, I want to start with you. When you look at devolution, 15 years after its inception, you know, governors have become one of the most influential political actors within the country. From where you stand, has devolution strengthened local democracy or just moved power from Nairobi to 47 political smaller areas within the country?
Yeah, number one, it's openly known that indeed power has been moved from Nairobi centered part to the local units, yes, of this country. It's known clearly that the key mandate of devolution was to simply move real power, from just central place to even the villages, so that even those people at the village level can feel they are being represented. And that's why you see they have been given the authority to elect members of county assembly who I believe they one-on-one have interactions with. And as a political scientist, Alexis puts it, that institutions are what primary schools are to science. They are to liberty what primary schools are to science, meaning they bring down to the people that liberty. Same to devolution, whereby services like ECDE, which is like the backbone of education, things like health, things like county roads, we have county roads, water, agriculture, and you find that these are kind of basic things to human life. So the constitution, rather theoretically, these things have been moved down to the local mwananchi, rather than initially when they were just centralized at the people, even though we have challenges.
Yes. He says theoretically, but do you think, we've had cases where there has been cases where expenditure meant for county monies, the Auditor General says the monies have not been used accordingly. He says whatever happens in terms of moving power closer to the people is theoretical, but then again, we hear cases of money being misappropriated at the county level. What do you make of this?
Yes, good morning once again.
Morning to you.
First of all, let me say that I think devolution is one of the strongest achievement we had in 2010 Constitution. It was meant to bring not only power, but resources and services, and even decision making closer to wananchi. And in many ways it has. Let us give credit where it's due. We've seen improved healthcare in some counties. We've seen access, especially improved feeder roads, and a lot of other things that has been achieved through devolution so far. But that notwithstanding, we have to say that the greatest test of devolution we've faced over the last decade is accountability. We've seen governors being grilled by the Senate over misappropriation of funds. We've also seen even some being pursued by the EACC over corruption cases. And we've also seen even cases where governors are impeached over the same. In some ugly instances, we even witnessed physical confrontation between the senators and the governors. Yes, so one thing I can say that in as far as devolution has got far-reaching benefits to the citizens, it has also been facing a lot of lack of public trust and lack of transparency and accountability. And I want to say that accountability is what transforms public funds into public benefit. Without accountability, without oversight, without good governance, then devolution simply become decentralized disappointment instead of decentralized development. Yes.
Decentralized disappointment instead of decentralized development. Wakili, you know, the Constitution as it is envisions checks and balances at county level. But then again, you look at it critically. In practice, in some ways, many governors look like they are politically dominant at that within their counties. Do you think this is a constitutional design gap, or there is some sort of an implementation failure?
First of all, let me start by saying that devolution was and is still a good idea. That was, started by the drafters of the Constitution. It was a dream. Services were moved closer to the people, and I think, in my own view, there are so many benefits that our people from different counties, from the rural areas, have, really benefited from devolution.
Yes.
But again, we can't really say that governors are really dominant. I think our practice of democracy has created that gap, because you realize that when you are aligned to a particular political party that is dominant in a given region, then governor plus the members of county assembly are elected on one party ticket, and therefore there's that choir singing it at the assemblies, where the assemblies are not really independent to do their three constitutional functions: the legislation, oversight, and representation. Really, devolution has not worked because there's no, the MCAs are not doing their work. The biggest failure is in the part of the county assemblies, the oversight aspect and legislation. And that fear of failure is also shared by the public, because you realize that Kenyans are not keen on the persons they are electing as MCAs to represent them at the county assembly. In many instances, you realize that either retirees are elected, or people who are not properly schooled, The moment you elect a retiree old person to a county assembly, it means this person is not going to be able to legislate properly. And this person is not going to be able to oversight properly because you know the calculations and trying to understand the budgets and everything that has happened, that becomes a problem. The moment you elect an unproperly schooled person, a class 7, class 2, class 8 dropout, then you know that oversight will not happen because these are people who will go there and they will just try to do what governor instructs them to do. And therefore, the public must also be aware that county assemblies are not just places where you send people to go and sit in the name of MCAs. County assembly has got a lot of work, and therefore personalities that are sent there should be people who are properly qualified and prepared to do their functions properly. If we get that right, I think from 2027 we're going to see counties do much better for the people of Kenya.
You know, just to build on what Wakili said, do you think Kenyans are paying attention to the people they elect at the county assembly in as far as the oversight role aspect is concerned?
Thank you. He mentioned something about electing a standard 7 dropout. Actually, you've gone too far on standard 7. These people elect even class 2 dropouts at the MCA. You saw the other day there was an impeachment. Was it Kericho County? And that member of county assembly could not even introduce himself in the Senate. And those are kind of people that we are electing to account for the billions that the governors receive annually. I mean, that's a pipe dream. There is this concept, sometimes I read the Bible, and there is this part that African politicians love the most, that leadership comes from God. I sometimes feel some leaders are like punishment to the people because you're given a number of leaders to elect from. They all come to you. They give you their manifestos. You speak so eloquently on what you're going to do. You even tell the people the framework to which you will implement your manifesto. But they'll still be waiting. They'll tell you, oh, you've spoken so well, Mr. Emmanuel. That was a good presentation. We can't wait. But you know, before we get there, I must eat.
Yes.
How are you leaving me? And so you find they end up electing whoever comes to speak to them, tells them things they want to hear, dances so well, entertains them so well, insults the opponent so well, and they elect them. And so you find that when these people get to the offices, you know what they do? They come with whoever was insulting so well. They employ the CECs, the chief officers. They actually reward the patronage system. And you find with this, we cannot have the accountability that we deserve. It is like being taken to a showroom, and then you have been given a budget to own a Range Rover Sports. And then out of everything that you see in there, you get out with a Pro Box, and you expect it to behave like a Range Rover. It can never work.
Yeah.
It can never work.
Danish, when you look at it, if at the county level, we're still seeing patronage system being employed, will we really achieve, or will we be able to make sure that accountability is upheld at the county level?
Yes, there are efforts to ensure that, but I can say that as long as we lack the political goodwill, that will be a tall order. We have independent institutions according to our constitutions. Everything is in place according to the constitution, and therefore accountability at the moment should not be an issue. If it was a matter of having independent bodies, we have the Office of the Auditor General,
yes.
We have the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, we have the Senate, who should actually be also doing oversight, we have the County Assembly. What we lack in our system is the political goodwill, and that's what brings us to the patronage. That's why we see even when ESCC is pursuing some governors over corruption allegations, or when the Senate is, or when there is an impeachment proceedings, then some quarters, depending on the political affiliations, it's always it's like the result is predetermined. You are safe as long as you align yourself this way. That is political goodwill. And governors or politicians are very good at that. They know when to loot public funds and when not. And after looting, they know where to run to. I know I have looted a lot of money, so for me to be safe in the next government, I should align myself this way. And so the first thing we should do is to ensure that we strengthen our institutions to act independently. We strengthen the EACC, we strengthen the judiciary to prosecute cases without political interference.
How do we do that?
First of all, I think the buck stops with what my colleague said initially. Everything begins with the citizen at the point of election, beginning with the presidency, because whoever we elect at the topmost office sometimes decides who holds those offices, especially through appointments or through public vetting. And so therefore I think first of all, during election we should ensure that we, as much as we can, elect leadership that exhibits integrity into the office. And then this also goes to the parliament. I think the parliament also has got a role to play in ensuring that the independent institutions are protected. Yeah, but it is a tall order as long as there is lack of political goodwill. We have tried in the past, it's lacking.
Wakili, it has to start from citizens, because we're talking about devolution, and this is something that is affecting them directly. We have to start from the citizen. Do you think they really understand what the role of a member of a county assembly is, or it's just based on what popular political vehicle they are using to get to the county assembly?
In the past, it has always been about the popular political party within a region that determines who gets elected where and when. And I really want to speak to the electorate, because you know, some of these things that these gaps that we have or we see are really created or facilitated by the electorate. For example, I can give you an example of my own county, Homa Bay.
Yes.
In 2022, when we were campaigning, after Baba, the late, called the current governor, Gladys Wanga, and the former deputy governor, Joseph Oyugi Magwanga, to come together, because all of them were aspirants for governorship position. So when they were called together to make one ticket, they went back to the people. And I remember these clips are available, and citizens, the electorate of Homa Bay should check on them. These clips are available. We were saying that, you know, after election, our hope, because the slogan was Genoa. Genoa means hope. Our hope is that drugs will be in hospitals. Citizens of Homa Bay right now should confirm if indeed, after the elections in 2027, drugs have always been in the hospital. And if not, then they know what they should do. We said that our hope was that pipe to water was going to be in each and every home. The citizens of Homa Bay should do, marking. Are there pipe to water in each and every home? If it is there, then you know what to do. If it is not there, you know what to do. We said we were going to have ECD centers. ECD centers means we have a resting place for the kids when they are sleepy. We have a safe playing ground for the kids. We have, a feeding program within the, and we have good staffing for the ECD centers. If the residents of Homa Bay should be able to check if those are there or not there, and they know what to do if it is there, and they know what to do if it is not there. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that the electorates have to be, have to have the desire to get services, good services. And by having desire means they will elect good people into the county assembly and into being the governor, the executive wing. You see, Mike, the problem we have in this country is, I think the electors are not really serious. They don't want to change their lives. They just want to be there, to be seen. Devolution as decentralized resources from the national government to the counties. It means counties can operate and can develop their respective rural areas without really depending on the national government, on whoever is elected as the president. But you see, the politicians have a way of showing or demonstrating to the electorate that, you know, you have to have the president for you to get services, which is not the case. Because the constitution is very clear. And whoever is elected as the president cannot or does not have any powers to refuse to release resources that are, mandated or are mandatory as per the constitution to the counties. Right now we are talking about 450 billion. Right? About 450 billion. If 450 billion can be utilized properly within our counties, then Mike, you can be sure that this rhetorics that we are hearing about Singapore, about Malaysia, about, we can really experience that Singapore in our counties. But there's a problem. You find that here in Nairobi where we sit, county assemblies, the county assembly here, the MCS, they will tell you they are going for committee meeting. Do you know where they do their committee meeting? They go to Mombasa. And they want fare to Mombasa. They take 2 days to travel, 2 days traveling
facilitation
to Mombasa. Then they have allowances. For all those 7 days they are going to be there. You ask yourself, is there no Serena here in Nairobi where an MC can go and sit and then gets back home in the evening and tomorrow he gets again to that meeting? So there is this, and the late former parliament used to say that, you see, members of parliament will tell you, we're going for benchmarking. Going to benchmarking. They're going to Malaysia. They're going to CG South Africa. Waste of public funds. And if you don't give them, they blackmail even governors. The county executive, they blackmail governors. That is where you find that MCs will start collecting signatures that they want to impeach a governor because the governor has refused, that they will not, he will not or she will not allocate resources for these people to go and waste and to dance with their concubines in Mombasa or in somewhere in Kisumu. What we are saying is, the electors must, if they want to see devolution work, we must elect people who understand what a role of an MCA is in the county assembly. We must elect people who understand what being a governor is. A governor should not, even in the first place, a governor should not be a politician. A governor should be a manager, because there are resources there that is going to, they are going to manage. Managing the county resources. But the problem we do is that we elect politicians to be governors. So when they are there, they only do PR, because they only believe that the public are people to be lied to, and you do a lot of PR, and in the next 5 years, they will come back and elect you. And you also find a way of managing the MCS. You can dangle something for them every time they want to impeach you or they want to question you, and you continue with your lifestyle. If the electors are not going to change their way of thinking, going into 2027, then I can tell you here that 2028 will still come back here and still talk about what needs to be done for us to realize the full potential of the devolved system of government.
That is loaded, Wakili, because we are heading into 2027, and we'll see people rising up to those positions, to be elected to those positions. So it's upon Kenyans to decide who they want to elect in as far as county assembly is concerned. So that when it comes to management of public funds, it's done accordingly. We are also joined by Masesa Makua, who is from the ODM Youth League and also aspiring Nairobi Senator.
Yes.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
How are you doing this morning?
I am fine.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm a bit late. I stayed late night yesterday. I'm an Arsenal fan. I thought Crystal Palace will do something because we will give them money at the end if we win the league. But I was so disappointed. But I'm glad that I am here now.
Yes. You live to fight another day.
No, we will win our games. Let them do their own.
Let's take a short break. When we come back, we shall continue with this conversation. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Good Morning Kenya. This is Future Voices right here on Entertainment Thursday. We give the youth of this country a chance to contribute to matters of national interest. We are talking about devolution and accountability. And Masese, I want to hear your views. There's something that Wakili said, and I think it's important we dissect it. You know, sometimes in many counties, MCAs are accused of fearing governors, more than holding them accountable, which now brings the aspect of accountability into question. From your perspective, what do you think makes independent oversight so difficult at county level?
Thank you very much, Migu. What makes oversight very difficult at county levels, it's the structure itself. Do you know that the salaries of the MCAs have to come from the governor? Yes. It is the governor who funds the county assemblies. So that's what William Ruto was trying the other day when he went to the county assemblies forum, that the county assemblies will be getting money from the exchequer directly to their accounts and not to the executive, then from the executive to the county assembly. And that's why the MCAs totally work at the mercy of the governor. And that is the biggest problem that we have. That even money that is to be spent on county assemblies, their budget comes from the county executive. They are the ones who disperse. Unlike National Assembly or Senate, where the exchequer funds the National Assembly directly and not through the office of the president or the executive. The same is not being done in the county assemblies. That's why you will not find an errant or an independent MCA trying to challenge a governor on matters of accountability. All right. So that's where the problem is. So the problem is in the framework of how even the funds are disbursed to the county assemblies. So yeah, that's where the problem is.
So in other words, Magoba, the governor can hold the MCAs at ransom.
Yes.
And if the MCA does not conform to what is expected, then he might not get development in his area, in his ward.
Yeah. But first I wanted to correct him. The salaries of MCA are not at the mercies of the governor, because SRC is there to control and make sure everyone gets their salary. What happens is that this salary comes from the SRC and then it goes through the budget of the county. And the people who make this budget, it goes into the county assembly. It's just like the National Assembly, whereby we have the bill, the finance bill and everything. And I feel like
I think you didn't get me right. You see, just like my brother said, the national government cannot fail to fund the county governments, but it can derail by doing what? By funding them late. You see? So delayed disbursement of these funds means that development will stall because the pending bills will not be paid. What I am saying, my brother, is SRC is there to set how much they will receive. Once SRC has set how much they will receive and all that, all this money goes to the executive arm of the county government. Then it is the county government, the governor, that releases whatever is owed to the county assembly. So the governor can intentionally, can intentionally delay disbursing these monies. You see, when these monies are delayed to be disbursed to the county assembly, then it means these people are at the mercy of the governor. I want you to understand that the exchequer does not fund the county assemblies directly. That's what I said.
You see, what governors do is that when I'm the governor and I want to frustrate my brother here, I'll make sure that the 20 million that is supposed to go to his assembly, or rather to his office, as he says, it can either go late. But what I've seen in the recent past, what the governors are doing, for instance, a road is supposed to be constructed in your ward. So what I do as the governor, I make sure that the chief officer in charge, or rather the CEC in charge, reports to me directly. In this case, your work will just be to oversee the project, but you're not getting anything as it's supposed to be. Because ideally, you are in charge of that ward. You should be the one to even know who is getting the contract, who is doing the construction and everything. But then we are having governors whose insatiable want for wealth will not allow them to independently let MCAs do their work. They want to be there. They want to make sure that they get these kickbacks. And that's why you will see most governors, today you move into a number of counties, you find there is more of construction than we have medicine in hospitals, than we have agricultural inputs and all those necessities. But we are either constructing a governor's residence, we are either constructing a governor's road. Like for instance, my county, the first project the governor did was to tarmac a road connecting to his rural home, when we are having the roads inside. I don't know if any of you has been to Busia County. Sometimes people make a joke that we do not have even a better roundabout in the town. But you find that these are things that have been there, and we've had a governor who went for 10 years, complete 10 years. So you end up asking yourself, what was this governor doing for 10 years that we are still having the challenges that we had before the devolution came into system? Today, I look the convoy of our Kenyan governor, and you wonder, what is this? I mean, must a governor run away with over 15 Prados, with over 15 cars, consuming fuel under our taxes? These drivers are being paid under our taxes. You find a governor's convoy, only a driver timebeba document ya minister ya CEC, a driver alone along the convoy, yet people do not have water. And you see where I come from, it's a very interesting area. We have Lake Victoria surrounding my constituency, we have River Nzoia, but people to date do not have water from their taps. And then you end up asking yourself, why? And then someone tells you the governor owns like almost 5 mansion houses, both in Nairobi and in the village.
So, what you're saying now brings about matters of public confidence in as far as county assemblies are concerned. You know, county assemblies, they approve county budgets. Yes. And even sometimes vet appointment and oversight spending. But sometimes many Kenyans may feel that MCAs are politically compromised. How do we ensure that public confidence in county assemblies is restored to a point where they are confident enough that this county assembly will do what is required of them in as far as ensuring resources go to where they are expected? Hello.
Thank you. I think before responding to that,
yes,
I want to chip into the argument about governors manipulating MCAs. According to me, I think it's two-way around. We've seen instances where MCAs manipulate governor and instances where governor manipulate. I think the buck stops with the political setup or the political parties. Let me give a case study of Meru County. The reason I believe why Kawira Mwangaza did not survive the onslaught is because he was an independent candidate. Almost half of the MCAs were from one political party and the other half are from another political party, none of which she belonged to. And therefore, if the political parties prevailed over the decision of the MCAs, and that's why the impeachment it was the third impeachment. Then she was ousted. So I think MCAs are mostly manipulated by the political parties, far much than even the governors. The other day, there was a time Governor Sakaja was almost being impeached, and you heard it is the ODM MCAs that saved him. It was not Sakaja who prevailed over them. It must have been the party ODM and the party leadership that prevailed over them. So party leadership plays a lot in as far as the county's assemblies are being run. And even in terms of the confidence you are talking about, county budget allocation, these MCAs, always they are fighting to secure their second term, and therefore they are trying their best to align to their political godfathers. And so as long as we will be having the political parties controlling the county assembly, then we will be having some shadow powers beyond the county government that is not visible, and we will be dealing with the governor as a person and the MCAs who are formally elected, yet someone somewhere will be sitting controlling, go impeach this governor, demand more from him. Sometimes when a governor maybe refused to relinquish money to these parties, they don't attack the governor directly. They use the MCAs to threaten governor's impeachment. And you realize the governor will be saying, oh, my problem is not the county. My problem is with my political party or political party leadership. That's why I'm facing all these accusations. So it's corruption, it's political witch hunt, all intertwined in such a way that you cannot tell which one is a prevailing reason why someone is being pursued by either EACC or... So for us to develop public trust, I think we need to, I don't know, we go back to, you know, our system is democracy, and I think this, my two colleagues talked about the weakness of democracy, and Socrates emphasized that democracy, in as far as it is good, has got its own weaknesses, because popularity sometimes overweighs wisdom, and emotions overweighs reasoning. So as long as the electorates are not informed, we need to do a lot of civic education during, so that we ensure that the electorates are making decisions not based on emotions and popularity, not where the best speakers and the demagogues manipulate the outcome, but where leaders of integrity are actually taken into power, especially the MCAs. That is the only way we will ensure public trust and confidence in running our counties.
Wakili, what do you think? At what point does oversight become a constitutional failure rather than a political weakness in as far as county assemblies and devolution is concerned?
Number one, just to say something, I don't think that governors have the capacity and the ability to frustrate an elected member of county assembly. You see, there are things that we just say for, I think, for lack of a better word, for purposes of ignorance. How do you conclude that a member of county assembly elected by the people, whose salary is already prescribed in a constitution, that now somebody can say somewhere, say, I'm not going to pay so and so a salary because he is not aligned to me? It can never work. So if MCAs have failed to do their role, their functions, then it is not, they should not find an excuse to lie to the public that, you know, if we don't do this, governor will frustrate us, or governor... Actually, I believe, as a lawyer, I really believe and understand that the governor does not have the capacity to retain your salary. How? Even if she was the one paying or he was the one paying. How? Because you can have the evidence that this is my fellow member of county assembly is allied to the governor. He has already been paid. Why have I not been paid? You can move to court. You will get your pay. You see? So certain things are not for chief, the governor, the CEOs of the counties to determine when you are paid and when you are not paid. Another thing, President William Ruto, right now, county assemblies have the autonomy. They get their monies directly. So why are they now not doing, if that was an excuse, then why are they not now doing their functions, their roles properly? What I'm saying is, and if we go to 2027 with the same mindset and you know, the same structure, then we are still going to lose another 5 years of devolution. One, the biggest problem of devolution are political party leaders. This I can tell you for sure. Actually, people who have made governors not work are party leaders.
Exactly.
Because the governor knows there, anakaa pale anaiba pesa, he steals or she steals, and she knows that the moment I've taken to a party leader 10 million, I'm okay. If the MCs, if the people are making noise, I will bring the party leader to talk to the people. Or I will, if the MCs want to impeach me, I will inform my party leader. Then the party disciplinary party will summon them, tell them, leave the governor. I recall the situation with Governor Obado in his first term of office, when the ODM party tried to, because he was not aligning to the powers by then of the party leadership, they wanted to impeach him. And I remember Obado at some point made the county assembly, you know, a very hostile area for MCS to appear to. And you know, you cannot do impeachment in the bush. You have to table that motion in the assembly.
Yeah.
And the MCs were crying, some in Tanzania, some in Korea, saying, oh, you know, when you go to Migori, we are beaten. And Obado survived through that kind of, but he served the people. Governors, the major problem, apart from the MCs having being incapacitated to do their roles, because many of them are political, they are, you know, school dropouts and maybe retired old men.
Who?
MCS, majority of...
You have to draw that. I mean, do you have evidence to that?
I have evidence.
No, you have to tell
Do you
me.
know right now? Do you know right now as we speak? Do you know right now as we speak? No, I come from Homa Bay. I want to give you an example with Homa Bay.
That is fine.
Homa Bay, currently as we speak, nominated MCA, for example, I'm telling you, nominated MCA of Homa Bay is the wife to Aduaweti. Do you know the wife to Adu is how old?
But we cannot discuss a person. We cannot discuss a person here.
We are not discussing. I'm just giving an example.
No. Can I be allowed to say you are not an advocate? You did not finish school. Am I allowed to say it?
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say it here that you did not finish school, so you are not an advocate? Am I allowed to say it?
Yeah, you are allowed.
Without substantiating.
You are allowed.
You cannot say that MCAs are dropouts. Let's respect leaders because...
Let me ask this, gentlemen.
We can say they're incompetent. We can say they're but we cannot cast aspersions on these people. No, you have to respect leaders.
You see the problem we have? There are certain people who think that they are more ODM than some of us. You see... These things I'm saying, you see, I've mentioned ODM and then now.
No. You have said MCAs are dropouts. You didn't say ODM.
Majority of them.
Some of them, which is the truth.
You say
which is the truth.
That is not a truth. That is an
Okay, my brother, you cannot run away from
Masase, you live in this country. Stop
live in this
country. Listen, you live in this country. And you know this fact.
That's not a fact.
Let's see this.
It is an opinion.
This is...
Can I finish what I was saying?
Okay, finish your point before I get to...
Mike, I was saying this, huh? If Kenyans wants to get good leadership, good representation, good oversight, we have to elect people based on what they present to us during the campaigns, not what the political parties want us to do. I can say it here. If the people of Nyanza are going to elect MCS because ODM has given them tickets, if the people of Central Kenya are going to elect MCS because DCP have given tickets, then I can assure you that we are going to have still worst county assemblies come 2027 to 2032.
Recycling the same problem.
Recycling the same problem. We must elect people, even if it's an independent candidate. Let us elect a person.
Not a party.
Not a party.
Yeah. Thank you.
Now,
Masese, when you look at devolution, 15 years later, and it's something that was meant to benefit Kenyans. It was entrenched in it is entrenched in the constitution. But my question to you is: do you think we have brought too much politics within something that was just meant to be implemented?
Yeah, I think we brought in too much politics, and before we understood what devolution was all about, we had a lot of time wasting. You remember at some point there's a time that governors thought they were also presidents. So they were saying that we have 47 presidents, then one president, like we have 48 presidents. Then we had now to get that notion out of them that they are not presidents, they are governors, and we brought them. The devolution, we brought them in so that resources can be devolved to the people and not power going down to the people, working for the people. So it is true, politics has really overshadowed service delivery like it was intended while devolution was being birthed. So this is a problem that we are going to solve, and it's being solved slowly by these people now realizing that service delivery is more important than being having power. I like what my brother said. You see a governor walking, or when they move,
they have
with
a
convoy of 30 SUVs. Now put the SUVs aside. They have 20 heavy-built men around them as security. That is not a problem. I want you to make the mathematics of what they will eat, those 20 heavy-built men. Chakula tu peke yake. That's a lot of money that is going into wastage. And who are you protecting yourself from? Because when you are campaigning, you didn't have these people. In fact, you are mingling. Yes, ulikuwa unakamua mpaka ng'ombe zao. So I think when we get the right leaders, yes, devolution will work. But how will we get the right leaders? Because in this country, the end justifies the means. You see, IBC needs to crack the whip on campaign money. Because how these people spend so that they get elected to these seats is what brings the problem. Because they spend a lot of money that they need to recoup and make more so that they'll have made profit. So if this law is tightened a bit so that at least what you spend on campaigns is something reasonable, you see, something reasonable, so that at least when you're getting elected, isikuwe ni kama tuko na deni yako. Wewe ndio uko na deni yetu ya service delivery. Yes. We have seen in this country someone campaigning for just an MP seat, but he's going everywhere giving people 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. The whole constituency. How are you going to recover this money? You see? And when these people come, we think now they're going to give a service delivery. They're not going to give a service delivery. They're going now to recoup their money and make more.
So they're investing in politics.
So they're investing in politics. How we can help this country is demystify politics, make it less attractive, remove these perks so that it is service delivery. I like what my late party leader said. He was on record saying MPs have no business in the CDF. Yes. There is no way you will allocate, spend, and oversight yourself. Yes, there is no way. So that we only judge MPs on the three things: oversight, representation, and legislation. But today you'll find people are saying one-term MP because they are hajatengeneza barabara na pesa gani. You see? So it's the same problem that now we have with MCAs. MCAs think the only way for them to be now very active is that they also have World Development Fund that works like CDF. Because there is World Development Fund, but it does not work like CDF. It is still the governor that appropriates the World Development Fund. It does not work like what CDF works. You know, because with CDF, even when you're not on the president's side, the disbursement has to come. You know? But when you're the MCA and you're not working with the governor the way the governor wants, your projects might not take off because they can give an excuses in terms of pending bills, or they award the contract to someone to do it, but they don't pay them. They will say, we don't have money. So your projects, of course, they were launched, but they are not going on because the contractors left site because they're not being paid. And when you ask the governor, he says, it's okay, we know the contractor is supposed to be paid, but we have pending bills. We don't have that money. You see, that's why I was seeing the problem with now MCAs having that autonomy to now oversight the governors, is that things are not working the way CDF is working, but which should not be a problem. They should just do their work. Yes.
Magoba, if we are to deal with political parties and how they affect matters to do with county oversight, if we are to take them away from that, is it possible in the first place? How do that look like, and would that strengthen oversight?
That will look like Murang'a County. That will look like Murang'a County. Because this is a county with a governor who was, of course, elected within a political party, but he is delivering despite the political party. So even as far as political parties tend to influence the workability of a county government, I strongly feel like we have individuals who are in those positions and they are still able to deliver. So I still insist that MCAs should act independently. Senators are actually trying, they're actually trying, but MCAs should try to act independently and take those cases of underworking governors, corrupt governors, so that senators can act appropriately. And as Plato says, if you are traveling with a ship, who would you trust to best navigate that ship? Is it someone who is trained or just any other person? So is a state. People should trust knowledgeable individuals with wisdom to give them those leadership positions, and not just whoever has the best goons, whoever makes the loud voice in the county. No, but the best people who can lead the county.
Hello, what do you think? You know, we have audit reports giving exposing recurring issues of unsupported expenditures, pending bills, and so on. But my question to you is on accountability. As a country, do we have an accountability problem or an enforcement problem?
We have an enforcement problem, and that I can say candidly. You've just said we have several audit reports of different counties. We have cases of governors being pursued by EACC, and we also have cases of governors being summoned by the Senate over misappropriation of funds.
Yes.
Tell me any governor currently today in jail over any corruption allegation or scandal. So it is obvious. Governors have a way of getting away with it. And it is obvious to any politician that as long as you pick some political directions, you will get away with your loot. So I think the greatest problem we have is enforcement problem. Does the EACC perform effectively? And my answer is no. They pursue. It's all over in the social media and in the newsrooms. 2 weeks later, the story is gone. Actually, they bring up another story to ensure that the other one fades. So I think the key challenge we have is enforcement, and that also makes me to ask a question: are these law enforcement institutions really independent? So this enforcement issue also has got what we call political interference. There must be someone somewhere who determines how these law enforcement institutions work. As long as that happens, there will always be corruption. We need to have a system like, let's say, Singapore or South Korea. We have actually almost 2 or 3 former presidents of South Korea in jail currently. In Singapore, several ministers in jail. It is actually doable. They have been jailed for looting public funds or for some going against the constitution during their reign. In Kenya, that is impossible. Even former governors who have retired and who are at home, they're just relaxing. Even the ones that we know had serious corruption allegations. None of them has been prosecuted. We need an example. We need to see the cases that we have before us really prosecuted to the end, to the very end, without political interference. I am assuring you, if we only have at least two very genuine and sincere cases prosecuted to the end, we will see this country change. Yes.
Going into 2027, Wakili, do you think, given what we've seen in a county assembly, of course we've seen good things happening in counties, but then again, we have those grey areas that need to be straightened. Do you think Kenyans have learned their lesson in as far as management of county money is concerned?
I think there's still more need for proper civic education to the public so that they can understand better what are the roles of different leaders that they elect, so that can then inform the pattern of in which they will elect leaders going into the future and their judgment on the same leaders. I also think that there's need for the Auditor General's office to try and up their game in terms of releasing audit reports, because you find that the Office of the Auditor General releases a report 2 years after something happened. I think this audit report needs to come very timely, so that it gives room for these leaders to be held accountable.
How regular can that happen?
How do you release a report 2 years after a governor left office? You see? And there was serious questions. Like right now, if you look at the reports that the parliament are discussing today, they are discussing financial year 2023-2024, and we are in 2026. So, Auditor General, I think they are properly facilitated, and if not, then the government needs to give them proper budget that can enable them to have enough personnel that can help them audit books of accounts from every government department and release these reports timely, so that the EACC and the other institutions that are responsible for in furthering the actions in these reports to do their work, so that Kenyans can get value for their money and they can also see certain convictions happening. I really want to say that we need to do more civic, even you as the media houses, you really need to do civic education, so that as we move into 2027 elections, our people are able to understand that I'm waking up, I'm going to elect a governor. What are the functions of a governor? I'm waking up to go and elect an MP. What are the functions? Do you know you go to a political rally and a village elder ask an MP that, Mheshimiwa, we don't have, our hospitals do not have drugs. That is not a role of an MP. Yeah? So it means when you see that elder, you don't blame the elder. You understand now that there's no proper civic. These people don't even understand that why are they electing an MP? What are the roles of a member of parliament? So the moment we can do proper civic education, then our people will vote in 2027, knowing that we need such a character for a position of a member of parliament. We need such a person for a position of a member of county assembly. We need such a person for a position of president.
Yes.
Because they know their roles and functions.
Masese, as we close, accountability, devolution has to work. And it has proven that if properly managed, it can work perfectly. But then again, when you look at accountability, how do we make sure that accountability feels more closer to the ordinary citizen, that they are confident if something goes wrong, someone will be held to account?
Yes. I think the biggest impediment is allowing the Constitution to breathe. We have the best Constitution, Constitution 2010, a very progressive Constitution. It outlines very well what is to happen in case there is misuse of public funds or such. But you see, political interference has made it impossible to actually actualize and see these laws being applied. Today, if you are corrupt but you are seen to be friendly to the administration that is there, even with the Auditor General report showing clearly that you have embezzled funds, I mean, no one is going to arrest you. But if tomorrow you say you're not now supporting the administration that is in place, you'll be arrested very early in the morning. So when we allow the Constitution to work in such a way that whether it is the president's brother or the president's sister, but they have misused public funds or they are on the wrong, the law is allowed to take its course, you see. So with that, we will be moving forward as a country.
Yes.
Even if, because we can forgive the electorates a bit, because now the civic education has not really gone down to them in a proper manner. So if the electorates make that mistake of electing people who are coming to misuse public funds, then the Constitution is there to shield now these electorates by ensuring that now these people who misuse public funds are now taken to court and are jailed. Like my brother has said, ministers are in jail, you know, former presidents are in jail. But what is happening here in Kenya? In Kenya, when Migwi today is saying 2-term. Very good person. Tomorrow Migwi is saying one term. The very friends that Migwi had in 2-term are telling us how Migwi stole. You know. So they have been knowing all this time, and they know that Migwi has been stealing. But because Migwi was singing their song, Migwi was a good person. But now Migwi has now left. Now they are telling us the truth. It's not like they are lying. It is the truth, but the truth of convenience. You see, that's why I'm saying electorates now, we need to do a lot of civic education so that we know who are we electing. Today, as it is, the politicians have decided, and they have now brought a narrative where they are saying it is 1 term. You know, it is 1 term, the president. But we cannot forget that everything that the president does is passed through parliament. Even the funds that he has at his disposal to embezzle is through parliament. You know, so we do not take the hit to parliament. We are taking the hit to the presidency. So even the alternative government that is saying now, we are the alternative government, and they're saying they're going to come with their people. They're going to come with their people to do the same things the same way, you know. And now that's where the problem is. So we need to start looking at the MCAs, like every elective seat, not the president alone.
Yes.
So that it is 1 term for everyone that is not working, everyone that has not represented the interest of the people. So that we are not deluded by these people in their own making. They're bringing narratives to drive us to a certain direction.
30 seconds before I close, we are running.
Thank you very much. So fellow citizens, if you go to your hospital and there are no medicines at your county hospitals, there are no drugs or anything, ask your governor, not your member of parliament. If there is no water in your taps, no water, no poor drainage and everything, ask your governor, not your senator, not your MP, not even the president. If there are no agricultural inputs in your county, ask your governor. If there are no ECDE well established in your county, there is that funds, ask your governor. And if your governor is not able to give answers to all these questions, then vote them out. Devolution is not failing because the idea was bad. It is failing because leaders you elect lack integrity and accountability. And the only punishment is to vote them out and elect people who can deliver, probably people like me.
The gentleman talking is called Emmanuel Magoma. He's a political scientist, and also we have been having Alo Danish, who is a youth leader and bioscientist. Jacob Odhiambo is a lawyer and political strategist, and Masese Mokua is from the ODM Youth League. Na anataka kiti ya senator ya Nairobi. So I hope mnamuona. This is where this conversation ends. Thank you for tuning in to Future Voices. My name is Mike Migwi. Up next now is Entertainment Thursday. Tutakuwa na DJ Unique. Get ready. Stay with us.